King Princess live on Austin City Limits Radio. So never been here.
Never.
You've not seen much, except maybe the Raising Cane's near the venue.
I saw my bus. I saw my bunk bed so far.
This has all been a whirlwind. This is not the way it normally works. You know that. But you've broken a bunch of different ground in that, like, if we look at your Spotify, there's 7.6 million people who have listened this month. But then under Fans Also Like, it's a bunch of folks that aren't big pop stars. It's folks that have maybe playing places a quarter of the size that you're playing. This is something people are connecting to. Why? Have you figured some of that out yet?
Yeah, I think people are connecting to it for a couple reasons, and I'm really grateful, and I feel super privileged to have anyone listening. But I think the reason it's popping off is, I think it's honest. I'm writing songs with my homies by myself that are then being translated to stage and to recordings on Spotify, and I think people are connecting to the authenticity of it. And I think similarly, I'm gay and the music's gay and it's providing good gay music for people. And that's really the goal, is to just provide the best art, queer art possible for these kids listening, for the people listening, straight or gay. It's just like, it's about time, huh?
At some point, though, there's got to be the conversation that you're not just the gay icon.
I would love that conversation to happen. Yeah, that would be fierce if when people start just focusing on the music. But I think we got to get over the hill before we get there. I think it's mostly right now about representation and bodies actually taking up space in our industry. And I'm okay with having that responsibility and occupying that space until we get to a place where, you know, we don't have to, our gay community doesn't have to just be represented by, like, a white girl from Brooklyn and some other people. Like, it should get to a place where it's really merit-based. It's who's the best, and it has very little to do with sexuality. But until that point, I'm okay with being that gay icon, if that's what we need.
You're accomplishing all this in our most divided times. I mean, there are bursts of hopefulness, whether it's the midterms and the number of women now representing us. But at the same time, you're out there at a time where everything is some kind of potential landmine.
Yeah.
And you're navigating that, which...
Yeah. Well, I like to think about, like, Crosby, Stills and, like, bands like that, because that was, you know, we think about music that comes out during divisive times. And for me, it's like I immediately think to the 70s and 60s, wartime music that is being written in protest. And you see a tremendous influx of that music and kind of people coming together and enjoying art during the times that are most divisive. So for me, it's like, this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time. I would not want my music to be out during any other fucking presidential administration. This is iconic. I hope he's crying. I hope he hates my gay music. I hope Mike Pence listens to it and is just like, just like sobbing in his bed.
Your summer is filled with just about every festival. I mean, you've checked all the boxes. You've got Coachella, you've got Bonnaroo, you've got Governor's Ball.
Yeah.
Another representation issue, if you look at a lot of these lineups, and people do this online where they pull away the male artists and it leaves it's 2 or 3 acts a day. Yeah.
Well, it's getting better, and I've been looking at the lineups, and I see a lot of my friends on there. I see a lot of my female friends and a lot of my male friends who are both very talented equally and should be on there. And it's really nice to feel like I am occupying a part of that predominantly straight white lineup, even though it's getting better. It just feels good. It feels good to know that, you know, somebody's gonna roll up to my tent at Coachella and see the fucking gayest show they've seen in years. Like, that makes me happy. Somebody who wouldn't have thought they'd fuck with it.
Yeah, because that's the real opportunity, is that you're not just playing to your crowd.
Well, that's what's nice about festivals is it gives you that opportunity to kind of be like in a space you wouldn't normally be in. My shows are really sacred and church-like, and you see the people come in, and it feels like a ritual, and I love that. But I'm not somebody who has ever existed in safe spaces or wanted to, so I'm pretty down to let's go to Hangout Fest, y'all. Let's go to Alabama.
At this point, though, most people, they can access an EP and a handful of singles.
Right.
At these shows, what's surprising you about their response to a bunch of stuff they've never heard?
Well, I think the biggest shock was that I was nervous about just presenting a shit ton of new material to an audience that's like drunk and rowdy and ready to hear your songs, and I think that that's pretty. It's cool in that I think that the shows that I've had so far have provided me a place to share my music in a zone that is kind of judgment free, and people are just excited to know that there's new stuff coming out, and that feels really good. But I also want for everyone to hear it and it not to just exist in a concert setting. So, because when it's on Spotify, I feel like it's a little bit more subjective. Because you can just be like, I like that or I don't. At a concert, you're like, you paid the money. You know what I mean? It's like you're gonna listen to the fucking songs.